Number 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Number 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. So once again, welcome to today's call and thank you very much for joining us. Moving on to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. I would let all the devotees on the call to please go ahead with your introductions now.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvind Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. And to all the assembled devotees, this is Megha from Naperville. It's very nice to see you again, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Absolutely, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Megha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna. And
Hare Krishna.
likewise, Mataji. Pleasure meeting you here in Dallas.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Raleigh.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna. We got a few more minutes for the introduction. So anybody else, if any other devotee want to move forward with that?
Otherwise, we can do speaker introduction.
Hare Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all the assembled devotees. This is Shiromani Nandarani Devidasi from Krishna Kathadesh. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Shiromani Nandarani Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Any more introductions at this point before we start with the class?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and to the all respected devotees of this divine group. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Pooja Arora from Haridwar.
Hare Krishna, Puja Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mataji. Hare Krishna. All right, I think let's start the class. Thank you. Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. We're extremely fortunate to have His Grace Chakravarti Prabhuji here with us today. And Prabhuji would be enlightening us by discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 15, and verse 27 and 28. But before we dive into this nectarine class, I will request Sureshwar Sham Prabhuji to share a brief introduction about today's speaker, His Grace Chakravarti Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Sureshwar Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Over to you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. So here is a brief introduction about Chakravarti Prabhu. His Grace Chakravarti Prabhuji came in contact with ISKCON in 2005. He has done his MBA from Symbiosis Institute of Management in Pune, one of the top business schools in India. Subsequently, he served as a human resource manager in Wipro Technologies. Since the time Prabhuji came in touch with the spiritual wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, His Grace Chakravarti Prabhuji has been using his skills to inspire and teach on how to live a happy life. Prabhuji decided to dedicate his life for serving humanity by sharing teachings of Bhagavad Gita under the aegis of ISKCON. And thus, in 2011, he became a full-time monk and a spiritual coach. His discourses on Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita in English, Hindi, and Sindhi are enlightening people across India and many parts of the world, including USA, China, Dubai, etc. He conducts various motivational seminars in prestigious universities like IITs and NITs. Apart from preaching activities, His Grace Chakravarti Prabhuji is rendering many essential services like leading ISKCON India Deaf Preaching, Secretary ISKCON India Youth Council. Also, he has been serving in ISKCON Juhu as Chairman, Brahmachari Council, HR Director, Temple Council Committee Member, and other leadership roles at ISKCON. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. A brief introduction about Prabhuji Mataji. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Sureshwar Shyam Prabhuji, for that introduction. I do see Prabhuji on the call though.
I'm calling Mataji. 1 second.
He's here. I see him here. No, I'm so sorry. My bad. No, I don't see him. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, he's coming, Mataji. He picked the call.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare. Yeah, Prabhuji is here.
Hare Krishna Chakravarti Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for giving us your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Without further ado, I'd like to request you to please take over from here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 15, text number 27 and 28. Are you going to display that?
Prabhuji, are you able to see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shri Narada Vacha Eta Mantropanisadam Pratichha Prayato Mama Yam Dharayan Saptaratrad Drashta Shankarshanam Vibhum. Translation. Can you please scroll down? Yeah. The great sage Narada continued, "My dear king, attentively receive from me a mantra, which is most auspicious. After accepting it from me, in 7 nights you will be able to see the Lord face to face." Text 28, which has purport, we'll discuss. Yat padamulam pashyata narendra purve Sharvadyo brahmamimam ditayam visrijaya satyastadiyam atulanadkhiyam adikam mahitvam prapur bhavanapi param nachiradupeti. Very small font. Okay, this also doesn't have purport. This is the end of chapter, so translation by Srila Prabhupada. My dear king, in former days, Lord Shiva and other demigods took shelter of the lotus feet of Shankarshan. Thus they immediately got free from the illusion of duality and achieved unequaled and unsurpassed glories in spiritual life. You will very soon attain that very same position. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the 6th canto, 15th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Saints Narada and Angira Instruct King Chitraketu. So there is no purport. So shall we proceed to the next chapter?
Prabhuji, I think I just check. Let me check for the next speaker, Prabhuji.
Yeah, because if there is no purport, then
Sorry, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Section is like 4.
Yes, yes. Shamagauri Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji, please speak.
Yeah, do you read all the verses?
Only 2 verses, right, Mataji?
Yeah, so we need to just finish the chapter here, and you may summarize the chapter. So,
okay. So you want me to discuss on these 2 verses?
yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay. Generally we don't do, but it's all right. We'll summarize the chapter. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ratnam Tamritam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakhartamscha Namaham Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminite Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So as I have to summarize the chapter, I'll read the summary as given by Srila Prabhupada for this chapter. Chapter entitled The Saints Narada and Angira Instruct King Chitraketu. In this chapter, Angira Rishi along with Narada consoles Chitraketu as far as possible. Angira and Narada Rishi came to relieve the king from excessive lamentation by instructing him about the spiritual significance of life. The great saints, Angira and Narada, explained that the relationship between father and son is not factual. It is simply a representation of the illusory energy. The relationship did not exist before, nor will it stay in the future. By the arrangement of time, the relationship exists only in the present. One should not lament for temporary relationships. The entire cosmic manifestation is temporary, although not unreal. It is not factual. By the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything created in the material world is transient. By a temporary arrangement, a father begets a child, or a living entity becomes a child of a so-called father. The temporary arrangement is made by Supreme Lord. Neither the father nor the son exist independently. As the king listened to the great sages, he was relieved from his false lamentation, and he inquired about their identity. The great sages presented who they were and instructed that all sufferings are due to bodily conception of life. When one understands his spiritual identity and surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Spiritual Person, one becomes actually happy. When one searches for happiness in matter, one must certainly lament for bodily relationships. Self-realization means spiritual realization of one's relationship with Krishna. Such realization ends one's miserable material life. Very nice. It's a great opportunity when actually we are able to summarize the entire chapter. And this chapter talks about the core philosophy of Krishna consciousness. There's one chapter, a summary of 2 paragraphs, is nothing but exactly what entire Bhagavad Gita talks about. Arjuna's lamentation that I don't want to kill either Bhishma, Drona, or even Duryodhana or Karna. So that bodily conception was there. And Krishna starts with the instruction, Dehina asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namoyati. And here also is the beauty of Vedic scriptures, that they talk same thing. If you read Bhagavad Gita thoroughly and carefully, you will realize that not many different things are spoken in Bhagavad Gita. The same thing Krishna repeats in different fashion, so that the jiva can somehow, understand. Some way or the other, it enters into the consciousness of the conditioned soul, and then he accepts the process after understanding. And then it goes. And then finally Krishna says, you surrender. Sarva dharman parityaj. Entire Bhagavad Gita is spoken. Here also, Maharaj Chitraketu. Amazing. Yeah. Srimad Bhagavatam is so wonderful that the twists and the turns in Bhagavatam, they tell us how our life is actually going. These great personalities, they enact these pastimes so that we can learn something. In a very sweet way, they have taught us. Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us many, rather all the concepts of life. So how Chitraketu Maharaj, acting like a conditioned soul, lamenting. In the previous chapter, he was hankering for the sun. So Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati. And Prabhupada says that we all should become Brahma Bhuta, completely spiritually realized souls, who does not have any sort of hankering or lamentation. So Chitraketu Maharaj had hankering for the sun. Same Angira Rishi came, tried to give him knowledge. The hankering was so deep. His absorption, Chitraketu Maharaj's absorption was so deep in that hankering for a son that he didn't pay attention. And Angira Rishi, understanding his mental state, did not preach. So Chitraketu Maharaj will discuss how a conditioned soul acts, how a preacher should react. And then Chitraketu Maharaj got the son. His hankering, he thought, is now satisfied. But very soon, that was transformed into lamentation, which teaches the third principle is whether hankering or lamentation, both are same. Both are painful, miserable, and hopeless. They create a very hopeless situation for us. And then, with the preacher, like Angira and Narada Rishi, taking advantage of that hopeless situation of lamentation of Maharaj Chitraketu, they actually preach to him and give him Krishna consciousness. So from hopelessness to hopefulness. Not only hopefulness, rather, they give him success. And that's what in these two verses Narada is saying, I'll give you a mantra which you chant. And in 7 days, you will see Lord Shankarshan. Your eternal Lord and Master Shankarshan you will see in 7 days. So, let us talk something about hankering and lamentation. And this chapter actually clarifies that how both hankering and lamentation has no, it's not fruitful. It will only lead to miseries. Ichha dvesha samuthena dvanda mohena bharata. Ichha and dvesh, similar to Ichha is hankering and dvesh is anger, lamentation, whatever. Very similar. So then Krishna is telling same thing to Arjuna. He was lamenting. And here there was hankering. Now when there is hankering, there is a kind of hopefulness. Even though it is hopelessness, but the conditioned soul thinks, no, there is some hope. So we have to understand how will Maya capture us. We are actually captured by Maya already. But we're trying to go away. She will want to revive that bondage of us. We are trying to become free. Devotees are pulling, spiritual masters pulling out from the womb of Maya. How the child is pulled out from the womb of mother. But then Maya wants us to be recaptured for further training, of course. So when we have hankering, you know the story, the dog and the donkey and the stick carrot principle used in management. The material world works on that principle. You will never get the carrot. The carrot will always be dangling and towards the other end of the stick. Only in the night, after so much of work, when we are about to become hopeless, the donkey is about to become hopeless. The owner of the donkey thinks, okay, if he becomes hopeless, then what will happen? He will become a vairagi, a renunciate, and he will not work. He'll take sannyas and go to the forest and practice in one of the caves of Himalaya. So let me give him that sense gratification. So then he opens the carrot and gives. And the donkey thinks, yes, look at me. Everyone, look at me. After the hard work of whole day, finally I achieved. And he's again into Maya. He was about to come out. So this material world, Maya will not give us the facility for sense gratification. She will show us a lot of dreams and hopefulness that we shall overcome, we shall overcome. Someone of you who have studied in India, you would have heard this poem. One day we shall overcome. That means I will attain what I want. Let there be unlimited obstacles, but I will still attain what I want. And Maya creates such an illusion that this hopefulness is always there. The moment a jiva becomes hopeless, forget, I don't want this. Let me go and practice some austerity. Let me go to some holy dham. Let me go to ISKCON. Let me go to read Bhagavad Gita. Let me go to, forest. As soon as you start moving towards that direction, Maya will give you a small piece of token, your sense gratification, little bit, and you will again take a U-turn. So many lifetimes we took U-turn before even coming to spiritual master. But this lifetime, somehow, by mercy of Krishna and Vaishnavas, we finally reached to the place where we have bona fide spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and his disciples, who are also bona fide spiritual masters. And we didn't take a U-turn, even though the mind was again and again pulling us back. But the danger is not yet over. Till the time we reach, Srila Prabhupada says, till the time we enter Vaikuntha, there's always an opportunity. There's always opportunity or always a chance where we can take a U-turn and go back to Maya. Look at what Bharat Maharaj is teaching us through his example. There was no fall down of Bharat Maharaj. Prabhupada writes, it's just a pastime to teach us. He was at the stage of bhava and he got attached to a deer, a baby deer. That's hankering. And because of that hankering, he became a deer himself in the next life. So Maya will try to pull us. And now entire focus, because we are already in ISKCON, And others who are not in ISKCON, Maya is not much focusing on them. She is more focusing on us. How can I, reclaim? Krishna is trying to reclaim the souls back to Vaikuntha through the help of devotees. And Maya, through the help of the agents of sense gratification, agents of distraction, is trying to reclaim us back in her kingdom. So we are actually in between. We're in the transition phase. So, very dangerous situation. We have to be extremely careful. Otherwise, we'll lose. And we have to take on one more birth. And again, we'll be in the same situation where we are today. So there is no point. The phase of transition is not very good. Good in the sense it gives hope, but you cannot go back. You cannot proceed. So you have to gradually walk. You cannot proceed means you cannot jump directly to Vaikuntha. And we have now sufficient knowledge that we cannot enjoy the material world. So we are in between. So what can help us is patience. Marching forward with determination, and we need patience. And we need to say no. Again and again saying no to sense gratification. So that's hankering he was having, Chitraketu Maharaj. Even though he was completely detached, but that hankering, that small hankering. How Srila Prabhupada came to America. Prabhupada said, I came like a needle. I entered like a needle and came out like an elephant. So even though Chitraketu Maharaj was completely detached, but that small desire, like a needle, entered in his heart, in his consciousness. And see what happened. 1 year. Fortunate for him, it was only 1 year. This son Harsha died on his first birthday. So, very important for us to understand. Either we learn from the scriptural knowledge, or we repeat the mistakes, get thoroughly thrashed and beaten up, accept a lot of beatings from Maya, and then learn. It's up to us. Chitraketu Maharaj is teaching there is no point. In the period of 100 years, 1 year I had association of my son, whom I consider my son, even though he is not my son. Then that 1 year of happiness is nothing in comparison to this day of misery when I've lost him, when he died. So, what is the use of going through this experience? We have a similar tendency. We want to experience, even though we know that we are supposed to get detached, still we want to experience that. Now, in this chapter, it is told that, all these family members is just an illusion. Illusion in the sense, because the relationship is not real. It is not that my mother or my father, they are illusion. No. But the relationship is illusion. Illusion is what I think that she is my mother and he is my father. She is my wife and he is my husband. She is my daughter, he is my son. She is my sister, he is my brother. This is illusion. The existence of living entity is not an illusion. It's reality. But the relationship is illusion. Living with people, living in a family is not a problem. To think and to get convinced that she's my wife, or he's my husband, or they're my kids, they're my parents, that is illusion. And that illusion creates unnecessary hankerings, unnecessary lamentation. Why I said unnecessary? It's not needed. It's not needed. If I want to show some example. Okay. Let me show you something. So this is a toy. And I consider this as my toy, very much attached. And this toy breaks. So I will cry. Why should you cry? Why should you cry? And you will not cry because this is not yours. So if I consider the woman who gave me birth is my mother, then anything happens to her will put me under stress. Because I am in illusion considering that she is my mother or is my father. That will put me under stress. What is the main cause of stress in the entire world? This illusion of I, me, and mine. Aham mameti. I, me, and mine. This is a problem. Getting married is not a problem. You know, sometimes people say, oh, you are not getting married, but your Lord Krishna got married. 16,108 queens. Lord Ram got married. Hey, why you don't want to get married? You don't want to follow your Lord's instruction. But there's a difference. There's a difference. Lord doesn't get attached. Krishna is not attached to his wives. Krishna is attached to his devotees who are acting in the role of his wives. Krishna is attached to his devotee because of their devotion. Yes, Krishna gave the entire tree of Parijat to Mother Satyabhama, not that he is handpicked husband. Because she is a devotee, she is completely surrendered soul. So that's a different relationship. But if I think that I will get married and I will think that she is my wife, that is illusion. So getting married is not a problem. Becoming Grahastha is not a problem. The problem is considering that she is my wife or is my husband. That's a problem. Some of you here may be mothers, some of you may be fathers. Young kids, 2 years old. Your son. You don't have much relationship. But you feel. If the child gets pain, you feel the pain. If the child is laughing, is happy, you feel that happiness. That's illusion. We think my happiness and my misery depend on my family. A lady who's pregnant, she's not seen the child. The face of child is not yet developed, but she starts dreaming, thinking that, oh, it's my child. When he takes birth, I'll play with him. I will feed him. He will call me mama. That's illusion. That's the state of dream we are living into. In every one of us. It's not that I'm not married, so I'm out of this illusion. I also have a family. My parents are there. So that illusion is there. And Chitraketu Maharaj, this story, this pastime shows how this illusion creates a lot of fear, a lot of pain, a lot of misery, in between some sort of happiness. But the real happiness which Krishna can give is much more than this fake happiness in terms of quantity, in terms of quality. That's what is, awaiting us. So when we are very deeply absorbed, it's not that you are not chanting. It's not that you're not reading Prabhupada books. It's not that you're not hearing lectures. Why are we still not becoming devotees? I was talking to one Gujarati gentleman today, on the way to become devotee, chants few rounds. And he was talking about other organizations who also worship Krishna or Vishnu. I said, there's a difference. Very famous organization. All over the world, they have temples. So I said, there's a difference between ISKCON and other organization. He said, but Prabhuji, everyone worships Krishna. I said, yes. But they are not as spiritual as ISKCON. He said, no, they're very spiritual. I said, they might be very spiritual in terms of following the worship of the Lord and all that. But their congregation members are not so much pakka, like ISKCON. Our ISKCON congregation members, they chant 16 rounds, staying at home. It's a Herculean task. Trust me, all glories to you. We stay in temple with association of so many devotees every day. Mangalarti, still, chanting becomes difficult. The mind is still wandering. All glories to you for staying at home, chanting 16 hours, hearing lectures, reading books, worshipping the deities at home, performing bhajan, services, inspiring others. That's what is very unique in ISKCON, what Prabhupada has created. So you can pat on your back. But that's not sufficient. Okay, don't become complacent. Others will get stuck here. You have to proceed. How Chitraketu Maharaj was absorbed. I need a son, I need a son, I need a son, I need a son. He was so much absorbed. That the instructions of Angira Rishi were not going inside his consciousness. And the devotees in ISKCON, be it a brahmachari, be it a grihastha, who says that after practicing of 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, still I'm not able to relish that Krishna consciousness because, my dear sir or my dear madam, your consciousness is absorbed in desires. And that is why even though you are reading Prabhupada books, it's not going inside. You're chanting Hare Krishna, is not going inside. Because the consciousness is not in reading and hearing and chanting. It's absorbed in material desires, fulfillment of material desires. Someone may say, but I don't have any desire. It's okay. I need clothes, I need some food. Yeah, that's all right. But you desire that your son should be a successful person. You desire your daughter should grow up very nicely. That also is a material desire. You desire your parents should be always healthy. In this miserable world, they should always be happy. How can you desire that your relatives will be healthy and happy in this miserable world? So that desire is illusory, that desire is material. It's very natural for a conditioned soul. But if you are too much absorbed, that's a problem. Okay, somewhat okay, we're not pure. Srila Prabhupada said there are devotees that are not devotees, non-devotees. Devotees who are pure devotees, non-devotees who are pure non-devotees. And there's a third category, we, who are not devotees, who are practicing sadhaka, but somehow trying to serve Krishna. So if I'm opening and reading Srila Prabhupada's book, and I'm deeply absorbed in my job, in my house, in my family, in my, even for brahmacharis, desired material. Sometimes a brahmachari was serving even for 10 years, so you may get a phone call. Your father is sick. He met an accident, or he got a heart attack. Then that brahmachari also may get disturbed, even after practicing, for prolonged years. It depends on whether the consciousness was absorbed in bhakti or not. That is why Prabhupada says International Society for Krishna Consciousness. It's the consciousness which is more important. It's not the body. So initially, okay, Prabhupada, what he did, he tried to engage the body of his disciples. Because if the body is engaged sufficiently, then mind goes, then consciousness goes. Eventually. So we have to start. But just engagement of body and sense is not sufficient. Consciousness has to be engaged. How many times we have faced, you just chanted your 16 rounds or 2 hours of slot, and you're chanting, your mind goes elsewhere. So your consciousness is going. Krishna says, Yam yam api smaran bhavam tyajyante ante kalevaram tam tam eveti konte sadatad bhava bhavitaha. This bhava is consciousness. It's not that someone who's dying and he sees the photo of Radha Rasa Bihari or photo of Srila Prabhupada, then he's going back to God and no, whether his absorption is there in Radha Rasa Bihari. Whether his thoughts are absorbed in Krishna, then only he'll go back to Krishna Loka. Otherwise, next life. So where we have reached is much, much better than many other living entities. But we should not become complacent. We are still in a dangerous situation. The war is not yet over. So don't get complacent. Very, very careful we should be. And that is the challenge for sadhakas. That is the challenge for all ISKCON devotees. And that is why we see so many devotees meet accident. What kind of accident? They go back. We should just continue and try to absorb more and more. One of the best tools or techniques, whatever you say, for absorption, I have heard from Prabhupada's lectures and books, and you can understand, is becoming missionary. That's how you absorb more. It's like, when you got married. Before that, you had a very bindas life, very casual life. Oh, no problem, no anxiety, no responsibility. When you get married, husband has the responsibility of wife. Wife has a responsibility of taking care of husband. Still, there is some free time. Then you become parents. Or whether a father or a mother, both are completely absorbed in taking care of the child. How absorption increases. Just 2 years back, you were not mother, you were not wife, you were not father, you were not husband. And see how the life changed. Because now absorption is more in the child. So similarly, when you become missionary, when you preach to others, when you are only focusing on your sadhana, the absorption is limited. But when you also preach and focus on how others should become devotee, then your absorption increases. The best thing, and that's why Srila Prabhupada, he instructed all his disciples, girls and boys, go out, do Sankirtan, distribute books, do Harinam, preach, cultivate people, make them devotees. That's the best absorption I can tell you for anyone. Any of the devotee who's connected to me, he feels a little down. I said, okay, go for book distribution for 1 month. I'm fired up. He comes back like a roaring lion. And when absorption is there, so Chitraketu Maharaj was not able to absorb in Angira Rishi's instruction. Now when Harsha Shoka has died, he is lamenting. So the absorption is much better. And same Angira Rishi explained it. And he understood. And the Narada Rishi now, he says, I'll give you a mantra. 7 nights from today, you will see Lord Sankarshan face to face. Look at the guarantee Narada is taking. That same guarantee Srila Prabhupada is taking. I give you this mantra, Hare Krishna mantra, you chant attentively and Krishna you will see face to face. Prabhupada writes in the purpose of Bhagavatam that you will see Krishna face to face. 7 days passed, 7 months passed, 7 years passed, 7 decades passed. Nothing happened. We're still seeing the deities as stones. Why? Because there's lack of absorption. And that absorption is called attentive chanting. The mantra which Narada Muni would have given to Chitraketu. Don't try to find out that. That's not important. There is no mantra more powerful than Hare Krishna mantra in the entire creation, including spiritual and material worlds. Be assured of that. If you don't have that kind of faith, then you will not be able to chant. It's a Hare Krishna mantra. In 3rd canto, when Kardama Muni is doing tapasya and the Lord comes on the Garuda, and Garuda is flapping the wings. And it is said in the shloka that the hymns of Samaveda comes out when Garuda flaps the wing. And Prabhupada writes Hare Krishna Mahamantra comes out. So anywhere in Bhagavatam, any mantra is good, Prabhupada says Hare Krishna mantra. And we think, oh, maybe Prabhupada is saying just because, wants to simplify things. No, he's not trying to simplify things. He's not trying to bluff us. He is completely in that faith, in that confidence that there is no mantra more powerful than Hare Krishna mantra. So why Hare Krishna mantra is not acting on us if it is so powerful? Because we are not allowing the mantra to act on us. You have to allow. Krishna does not like forced love. Sometimes devotees feel, why is not Krishna making everyone a devotee? It was so beautiful. Krishna does not want forced love. How much time it will take for Krishna to destroy this material creation and make everyone a devotee? Krishna does not want that. Krishna did not go to gopis. They came to the forest. Krishna did not desire to steal the butter. The gopis desired that Krishna should come and eat butter in our house. Krishna did not go to any demon to kill them. It is the demons who came to Krishna to be killed by him. Krishna is just a reciprocator. Out of 16,108 queens Krishna married, he did not propose to any one of them. He is the man. He did not propose to anyone. Rukmani came, wrote a letter. Satyabhama came. Nagnajiti came. Chitra came. All these 8 queens came. They did a lot of tapasya. Kalindi, she came. And the 16,100 queens captured by Bhaumasura. Krishna freed them after killing Bhaumasura. Satyabhama was there. And these queens are saying, princes are saying, where will we go? The society will not accept us. Krishna said, so what do you want me to do? You accept us as your wives. Krishna said, okay, no problem. They surrendered. We are not surrendering. How can Krishna accept? Krishna is standing there. And we say, Krishna, I love you. Krishna says, really? Yeah. Maybe. Krishna is confused. Hey, you said you love me. Now you're saying maybe. What do you want to do? No, I want to marry you. Really? Okay, let's go married. Let's go get married. Maybe, let me give a second thought. We're still giving a second thought. Hare Krishna is waiting. Okay, I'll wait. He's Atmanam, playing on his flute, enjoying. You see, he sits alone, no problem. He's waiting for us. He's ready. He has arranged the pundits, he has arranged the witnesses, he has arranged the entire, forum, all bookings done, all catering done, all DJ done, everything is done. We have to say yes. The groom has come and the bride is not ready, what to do? And Krishna is not the person who will come and forcefully, he's not Ravana, who will force. No, he does not like that. You cannot get love of someone by force. Krishna wants us to surrender voluntarily. That's why Srila Prabhupada says, bhakti is performed voluntarily, lovingly, and spontaneously. We have to develop that spontaneous love for Krishna. Then Krishna will accept us. Nothing less than that can inspire Krishna to accept us. So we are not absorbed. What can Krishna do? And that's why this mantra is not acting. That's why Prabhupada's instructions are not working. That's why these purports are not working on us. We're not absorbed. We are absorbed still in the material creation. We have to change that. How it will happen? By practice. Do your sadhana, but also become a missionary. If you want fast, become missionary. Preach to others. Preach to one person. Preach to 2 people. That's not an issue. Count is not an important criteria here. Your criteria is, if you're preaching to one person, get absorbed that how that person's bhakti will flourish. That absorption will help you to absorb yourself in chanting in Bhagavatam. And then you will go back. The other person goes or not, that is between other person and Krishna. But you will go back because you are absorbed. Okay. So I try to summarize the situation of Maharaj Chitraketu and the instructions of Angira and Narada Muni. So I hope I could serve you. If there are any questions, comments, we can take them.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for summarizing everything and make us understand how we should not be struck with the bodily identity and just come out of it. Think that like we are just given an opportunity to serve our family in that kind of mood. If we serve, then there is no attachment. But Prabhuji, always this is there, right? We read everything, but the situation comes in the practicality. That time, it is really very difficult to handle that situation. So how means how we can handle the situation, Prabhuji. Yes, I am reading, I am understanding that I am not this body, or I should not be attached to the family. I am understanding, but when the situations are hard in our life, we cannot take it sometimes. Yeah.
Are you a mother?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So what did you do when the child was growing in your womb? How did you take care of the child?
I mean, I was already in Krishna consciousness, so Srila Prabhupada has told that to read books for
Okay,
the
that is spiritual. That is spiritual taking care. I'm talking about physical taking care of the child.
Nothing I did, Prabhuji.
That's exactly. What did you do for the child? Now spiritually you talk. You were
Yeah,
saying
definitely. Yeah, definitely, because I was already a devotee, so then I could understand. But by reading Srila Prabhupada books, that spiritual life will start from the womb itself. So I've started reading books for child and start chanting more rounds so that child get benefited. That's what I did.
Okay. Actually, you were doing bhakti for yourself. The child got benefit because the child is also hearing, but you were focusing on yourself. And focusing on yourself, matlab you are hearing, you are chanting, you are reading. But the child is part of your consciousness that time, or your body. Then child also gets spirituality. But we see that we are not doing anything actually. It's all Krishna's arrangement. When your child goes to school and gets good grades, you become happy. When the child goes, gives exam, and he doesn't get good grade, he's sad, and you also don't feel that happiness. So that is what is illusion. See, the child has his own karma, and you have your own karma. Two souls come together because of some previous karma of giving happiness. The child has come to give you some happiness and to give you some, sadness, if not misery. That's what Harsha Shoka means. The child, Angira told, this child will give you happiness and also miseries at the same time. So your child also has come for that because of some bondage. And in that process, you become devotee, or you're trying to become devotee, you're trying to make your child devotee. How your child accepts, it's completely onto that soul. You cannot force Krishna consciousness into them. You can only inspire. That is about Krishna consciousness. Now, you can only feed the child. You cannot make sure that his height will grow to 6 feet or 5 feet 6 inches or 5 feet 10 inches. That's not your control. You can only feed. So you do your part by feeding the child. What will be the height of child? That's none of your business. So when the child is in the womb, you take care of the child's body and the soul, spirituality. You cannot decide the gender of the child. You cannot decide the color of the eyes of the child. You cannot decide how the nose of the child would be. You cannot decide how the ears of the child would be. You cannot decide how the hair of the child would be. What will be the height of the child? What will be, the physical structure of the child? You cannot decide anything. And who decides? The karma of that child. So what the child will attain materially in this life is also decided by his or her karma, not by you. And karma is already decided, which is already fixed. So why must you get distressed thinking that, oh, something is lacking? Maybe my child should have, got 98% instead of 88%. It's already decided he will receive 88%. Why you get affected? So that is exactly what I discussed. That is illusion. Taking care of child is not a problem. That's affection. That's very natural for a mother to show affection to the child. But thinking that the child should grow in this certain way and should achieve at certain destination, that is a problem. That we should not do. You are a mother, you're supposed to take care of child. Just do that part. Nobody is stopping you. Scriptures are not saying that don't take care of a child. But don't expect what he or she will become. That is the problem. The same. Karmaneva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachanam. It's not only for the child, for you also. If you are a student, you go and write exam. You study, you write an exam. That's your duty gets over. Now let Krishna and karma do. So don't get affected with your own results. So similarly, don't get affected with the results of the child. Whether he is failure materially or he is a success materially, it doesn't matter. It's already fixed. Imagine Nanda Baba. He did not even send Krishna to school till the age of 11. Yeah. He did not send him. Krishna did not know how to read and write. Whatever he could learn at home, he just, taking the cows, taking care of the cows. And what is so big deal in taking care of cows? You take the cows, you go to forest, leave the cows, they will eat the grass, and you play with your friends. That's what Krishna was doing. That he does always, eternally. Cows take care of themselves. So similarly, we take care of ourselves, we give the facility, okay, to your child, son or daughter, you give the books, you get them admitted into a school or college, whatever it is. Now you study, whatever you get, be happy. That's what Bhagavad Gita is teaching. Whatever is, see, when you say the situation becomes hard, what is that situation becomes hard? When your husband, your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, your children, they get affected. That time the situation is hard for you. That is the problem. I know it's very easy to say. For me also it will not be easy. I know that. But that's what again and again we have to remind ourselves. Maybe once it will go inside our consciousness. If you are showing your affection to your parents, no problem. But you think that your parents will never grow old, you think that your parents will never have any disease, that's the problem. Everyone has to die. And some will die today, some will die tomorrow. Everyone has to go. The situation becomes hard when we get affected with that illusory concept. And that illusion comes from a very, very subtle false ego. When you think that you can do something, and the result is not according to your will, that is where we say situation is hard. Your son is coming, a 10 years old son. He is riding a bicycle. He's coming home. He's almost there. 2 minutes. And it rains. What can I do? So that was his karma to get drenched in the rain. Who knows? He's enjoying the rain. You think, oh, he got drenched in the rain. Now he'll get cold. But he is enjoying the rain. So it is in our mind that we think other person is not happy, and so I'm getting affected. And even if other person is not happy, that is his or her karma. So all of us, that is what I say always. Bhagavad Gita is for every one of us. because our situation is like Arjuna. Arjuna is getting afflicted, he does not want to kill Bhishma. Krishna says, do you think that if you will not kill Bhishma, Bhishma will not die? He will die. He has to die. Material body will not sustain for long. Arjuna was feeling this pain because he was thinking, oh, Bhishma is mine. Drona is mine. That exactly illusion Krishna gave instruction to cut off. And it is Arjuna who killed Bhishma. Because that illusion is gone. Arjuna's son Abhimanyu died, 14 years of age. And that son was son of Subhadra, Krishna's sister. So Abhimanyu was nephew of Krishna. Krishna did not protect him. Why should Krishna protect him? This body has to die, the material body. Except Krishna, everyone else is a material body taken from this material world. It has to be dropped here. So Krishna decides, okay, Abhimanyu, now you go back home, back to Godhead. Come into my eternal Leela. Abhimanyu says, okay. How do I go? How do you go? Just leave this body here. And Krishna arranges 6 powerful, warriors, and they help Abhimanyu actually to take his body away, so that soul can get free and go back to order. So these warriors did not kill Abhimanyu; they actually helped him to separate his soul from the body. So the situation arises now. The situation is hard. Okay. A son, the daughter, the husband, mother, father, if anyone is getting affected, anyone got diseased or accident, then you get affected. But how will one get washed off his or her karma without taking the miseries of life? If you have to go back to Godhead, you need to wash off all the karmas, especially the negative ones. And we all have done that. And that will only be possible when we face that misery and pain in our life. So when someone of our relative or family member is in pain, so we should, okay, Krishna, you are taking off the karma of that soul. That's all. We cannot do. And anyways, even if one gets afflicted, what can you do? If my family member, someone gets heart attack, what can I do? If someone gets cancer, what can I do? At max, I can pray to Krishna, make his this washing of his previous karmas or sins, that is smoother. Or Krishna, please give that soul power to tolerate. But everyone has to go through. This is how, this is what we have accumulated. From years and from lifetimes, we've accumulated so much. So it has to wash off. It's a part of journey. Can't help. Please forgive me, I speak a little strong, but I try to repeat the words. And I'm telling you, I'm also not at that level. I'm also a conditioned soul. So we help each other. That's why we need association of devotees. That's why Prabhupada says, whatever may happen, don't leave ISKCON. We'll support each other. We'll pass through this phase also. Is that all right, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much for the detailed explanation of and also for giving many examples to understand. Hare Krishna. Krishna, Mataji, you please ask your question, Mataji. Your question looks a little confusing for me to read. Can you please ask it?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I'm going to read. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I'm taking a lesson from your class. Is is that is very carefully, consciously Krishna conscious rehna hai. Prabhuji, I got a question is that I can see my karma is taken by through my husband and my son. Now my Vivek is not accepting it is. So please guide me, what is that and how can my karma comes to me and I can still living the devotional bhakti life under the guidance of spiritual masters, senior devotees. And I'm not initiated from ISKCON, but I'm desiring for it to be initiated. So how can these problems and still I can be Krishna conscious and the karma is coming and my husband and my son, but it's my karma. So how it is that I don't know. Did I put it up?
I understood your question. See, whether your Vivek, that means your intelligence, is accepting or not accepting, that's not important. Important is what is reality. And you have to accept. Now it's 6 p.m. in India, 1800 hours, Indian Standard Time. So in your country, 5.5 hours more. So that is the reality. That is the time in your clock. Whether you accept it or not, I said, how does it matter? So that is why we have to learn to accept the reality.
But it can be changed, Prabhuji.
If one is facing challenge because of one's spouse or parents or kids, that's what we have done. It's only my karma.
Prabhuji, what I have to do so that, as you just few minutes ago you said that our karma need to be cleansed. So how can that karma comes to me so it can be cleansed and I can still be part of Srila Prabhupada's
So you just continue chanting, reading, hearing. That's all. Karma, you don't have to wash up. It will automatically get washed up. You just continue.
But Prabhuji, my husband taken my karma in his bodily effect, and my son as well. So is this like I can't be so selfish, Prabhuji?
Nobody can take your karma. Nobody shares karma with each other. Your karma is your karma, happiness or misery. Your husband's karma is his karma. Your son's karma is his karma. We don't share karmas. Every soul has its own karma, positive, negative, to go through this.
But I hear that, Prabhuji, the husband wife, they do share their karma. See, by getting when we are married.
See, there is some common karma. Now, Krishna also speaks in Bhagavad Gita, karmana gahana gati. It's very difficult to understand karma. It is said that if husband practices bhakti, 50% of it goes to wife. Wife practices bhakti, nowhere it goes. It stays with wife. So you practice bhakti, it stays with you.
But I don't mind sharing.
Don't worry. You cannot share. That's what I said. Okay. Ven Maharaj was a demoniac person. His son is Prithu Maharaj. His father was a devotee. So we have seen so many examples in the history. Advaita Acharya, Mahavishnu himself, he had 6 sons. 3 becomes Mayavadi. So we have seen examples in our society also, where son is very demoniac, father is a devotee. A father is demoniac, son is a devotee. Or even husband, wife. So don't worry about that. You keep chanting, you keep reading, you keep hearing. And you need to have lots and lots of patience. Don't get affected emotionally. Emotionally, you cannot attain bhakti.
But Prabhu, no, I understand I totally understand what you're saying. Because Vaishnava Kalpa Vriksha through, I totally understand what you're saying. But same time, I also understand if I'm Krishna conscious, part of Srila Prabhupada's, I'm want to be part of and getting initiated. So same times, how can I help both of them? Because charity starts from home.
Yes.
So what
how
is the mean to be
you
Krishna
help,
conscious?
if your husband agrees to chant, it's good. If your son agrees to chant, it's good. If they do not agree, then only thing you can help is you feed them prasadam. You cook prasadam, offer it to Krishna, and then give it to your son and husband. And they are taking prasadam. So that is why you are helping.
There also karma is affecting, Prabhuji.
Why?
His karma is affecting because it's not happening. And I never force. I never say anything. I keep the distance.
Okay. So see,
Because
charity, charity
yes.
begins from home. It's not right. It's just some English proverb. My mother is not chanting. My father is not chanting. I am into this movement from last 18 years. I have preached to, somehow I became an instrument and preached to many devotees who are chanting because I preached to them. I'm not able to preach to my parents. So it's all right. It's their karma. So whenever I visit them, I give them some Mahaprasad of the deity and they accept it. I try to take them to holy dhams. They accept it, but they don't chant. So it's all right. That's what I'm saying. You can only offer. If Krishna is not forcing living entity, how can one living entity force Krishna consciousness on other living entity? You cannot force.
No, I don't think of forcing, Prabhuji, because nobody forced me also.
So it's all right.
Prabhuji, can I ask you that we hear that there's a 5 kind of bonding with Lord Sri Krishna. So that's so we don't know what kind of, so it is like after Harinam Diksha and Guru Mantra Diksha, then is going to be revealed to ourselves, Prabhuji. The what kind of bonding is we are going to, what kind of is going
That's
to
what
be.
I said, Mataji.
Okay.
You need patience. You need lots and lots of patience. You are in too much of hurry. Why you want to know what is your relationship with Krishna eternally? Why you want to know?
No, I don't want to know. No, I'm not. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'm second is going to be revealed. I don't want to know because I cannot know unless Krishna revealed to us, isn't it? Guru revealed to us.
See, if you don't want to know, why you are asking whether it will be revealed to us after Harinam Diksha?
No, I'm asking to correct understanding. Is it my question? Is it correct or that's
You just do 4 things. Chant your rounds every day. Read Prabhupada's books. Hear lectures, Prabhupada's lectures and other lectures. Eat prasadam for yourself. Forget about Harinam Diksha. Forget about Brahman Diksha. Forget about Siddha Deya. Forget about what is your relationship with Krishna. Your relationship with Krishna is very clearly told by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You are eternal servant of Krishna. Prabhupada says in material world we have only one bhava out of 5 is das bhava. No spiritual master will tell you anything more than this. No spiritual master in ISKCON will tell you more than what Prabhupada already told in the books. So just focus on that. And how many years? Entire lifetime you have to focus on these 4 things. Don't worry what will happen to your husband, what will happen to your son. First focus on yourself.
Yeah, but I haven't been initiated, Prabhuji. That's not my chance.
That's all right. You don't have to worry about initiation. That is Krishna's responsibility to get a spiritual master to you. You don't have to worry. I did not go to my spiritual master.
Yes.
I was told to take initiation.
Yeah.
So it's all right. It's not your problem. Prabhupada was not in a hurry to take initiation. It took 11 years for Prabhupada. So don't be in a hurry. That's what I'm saying. Just have patience. Just practice 4 things. That's all. Forget about karma theory. Forget about initiation. Forget about Siddha Deya. Forget about your rasa with Krishna. Forget of everything.
Yeah.
Chant.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the patiently answering so many questions for Mataji. I think in the chat also there was one similar question that is also answered. So now Sukaka Krishna Prabhu, thank you Prabhu for patiently waiting. I'm sorry.
Hare Krishna, Chakravarti Prabhu, your classes are so enlivening, it's so nice. Prabhu, I want to just quickly go through some question. You told Abhimanyu was killed and Krishna could have saved, but he did not do anything. Was it that he wanted Abhimanyu to go so that Arjuna will become more serious to make the whole thing what happened? That's why it happened. Was it Krishna's arrangement that that situation has to come? Abhimanyu goes back to God and Arjuna becomes more serious. Was it that? That is what I'm thinking. Is it right?
I haven't read or heard of anything, so I cannot comment on that. It's not mentioned in Mahabharata that Krishna wanted Arjuna to become strong and that is why he killed Abhimanyu. It's not mentioned. So why to get into all that zone?
Okay. Okay, one more thing. Now Mataji was speaking, Vinita Gandharva, her daughter is a fantastic devotee. She's a daughter. And she's doing small children's classes and all. And so she has done a very good thing when she was in the womb, and that baby is just 8-year-old and doing a lot of activities in Bhakti Sangha. Vinita Gandharva, who asked the question just now, just wanted to keep you informed. Prabhu, one more thing, Prabhu, about Chitraketu. Now, he had a lot of botheration that his son died, Harsha Shoka, and then they gave a lot of consolation. And then he's meeting Sankarshan. And after meeting Sankarshan, he's coming out and he became proud and he was telling Shiva that why are you embracing Parvati while giving class? And then he got the curse. So is that even after seeing Krishna, still the proudness is still there in the soul? That
Can you show me exactly if Srila Prabhupada says that Chitraketu was proud while commenting on Lord Shiva?
No, I heard one Bhagavatam class today morning.
Forget about hearing Bhagavatam class. Read Prabhupada's purport and see what is mentioned there. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that he did not offend Lord Shiva because Shiva is also Shankarshan's devotee. So he was very, very friendly gesture. He said that. Prabhupada don't write anywhere that he was proud. But yes, Prabhupada says we should be very careful in dealing with devotees. And whatever has happened, be it Bharat Maharaj, be it Chitraketu Maharaj, they are all pure devotees. They are just enacting some pastime for us to learn. But
today
your question
morning, Prabhu, why I'm asking, today morning I was hearing a lecture from Radhanath Maharaj. Okay. So in that he was telling, I have not read that sloka that where Parvati is telling, I'm cursing you that you're going to get a demoniac body, my son. So I want you to get corrected from your point of view of that you couldn't choti mu badi baat, that you couldn't have told like that to Shiva because he's a great Vaishnava like that. So I have not read that, but I'm just asking you from that point of view that she wanted to correct his that false ego, or because that lecture I heard, I can send you the lecture which I heard. Today morning I heard. So
I do not know exactly what Maharaj said. So I cannot anything comment on that or discuss. But you said that your question was after meeting Krishna, do we still have some ahankar? Maybe. Possible. Duryodhan met Krishna.
Because what was the point? What Maharaja was telling, that Shiva was giving class and he's the greatest Vaishnava and he was embracing and giving class. But the people who were listening were Narada Muni, Vedavyas, Brahma, everyone was there. So they would have commented. They kept quiet means he had no need to comment on that. And Shiva just smiled and left it, and all the crowd, they just kept quiet. But Parvati said, no, I'm cursing. So Shiva was not happy that she cursed, but he kept quiet. Then Chitraketu took it rightly. Yes, mother, I done it, so I'm ready to take it. And he proved that a Vaishnava will never revolt, like Parikshit also kept quiet. So sorry, I'm asking so many things, but I thought I can.
Okay. So there was no question. You just commented something and I accepted.
No. So I was just wondering that even after seeing Krishna
I gave it the answer.
directly,
I gave you the answer to your question.
yeah.
Kamsa also saw Krishna. Duryodhana also saw Krishna. It's not just by seeing Krishna one get purified. It's the intention of that soul to get purified. I already gave you the answer. Okay, any other question?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, you have time. 2 more raised hands are there.
Okay. Last
Sudhakar
two.
Prabhu. Sudhakar Prabhu, please go ahead with your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It was a very wonderful, actually, clarification. I think I got partially answer to my question, but still I would like to just put it. Sometimes I get confused between the dharma and the karma. I would like to just take my own example. I will not make it generalized. Sometimes being a father, I think it is my dharma, to guide my children to certain thing as per what or my intellect or whatever my knowledge, right? So is it, if I think like that and act, is it right? Or as you just now mentioned or clarified to other Matajis, it's their karma. If they listen or not, or whatever it is, it's their karma. So if I take that perspective, should I take that perspective? Again, of course, I know it depends on the age of the children, other thing like that. But it generally, like when you say karma is individual, we see somebody is suffering, and can we just leave them? It is his karma, let him go and die. Why should I bother for him? That is not the attitude, right? So sometimes I just get confused, Prabhuji. If you can just clarify what exactly is like I should be taking it to a certain stand.
I never said to Mataji that you don't take care of your child. I said very clearly on that father or mother should take care of the child, but should not expect the child or the events happening in the life of child exactly the way they want. And I gave example that as a mother, you have the dharma or right to feed to the child. But how that food will affect the child, whether the child will grow in height, whether the child's health will be good, it's his karma. So you as a father do your duty and then leave. Don't expect the result to come in the line. Don't expect the results. But as a duty of father, you must do it. You cannot run away from the duty.
So is there a line up to what age?
No, you do everything possible to take care of your child, but don't expect anything, the result as you are doing. You can give best school to your child. You can give best books, best uniform, best shoes, best study room, and the time to study, but don't expect the result what you want. The result will come as per his karma.
Okay, yeah, I got it. The other part, Prabhuji, for example, like we see somebody, not relation, of course, I just see somebody suffering, and what stand I should take? I should leave it, it is his karma, leave it, or should I try to help him out?
Prabhuji, this is a very tricky question. We cannot give a direct answer. That is why on that situation, that's why we need a guru, so that we can get into details. I cannot just generally say, if someone is suffering, how can you not help? If someone is suffering very much, because his throat has become dry and he's a beggar on the street, and he's saying, can you give me a glass of water? And you are having a water bottle. Why will you not help? Give him some water. What's the big deal? So this is one example. That's why we cannot generalize it. Whom to help and who. But as a devotee, we should always have compassion in our heart to help everyone.
Yes. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Last question.
Yeah, Vrisha Banu Mataji. Please go ahead, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Prabhuji, the similar question what Prabhuji asked, like we give best to the kids, So Prabhuji, nowadays these younger kids are too much attached to the video games and all. So we always try to tell the kids not to do that. Or for me, like I turn off the Wi-Fi or take out the devices. So it's like a lot of arguments start, and like then it kids get like so much disrespectful to us. So how to handle that type of situation, or let them do it what they want, Prabhuji, at that time?
I think you should ask this question to someone who has kids. See, there is an influence of Kali. And that's why kids are behaving in a certain pattern. So you have to be smart, you have to balance. Give something, take something. If you take away complete Wi-Fi and they get frustrated, they'll never listen to you. If you give everything, they'll get spoiled. So you need to strike a balance. I've seen one mother, she has 2 sons, and they come home around 3 o'clock in the afternoon from the school, and the whole day they have 45 minutes screen time. So they can play for 45 minutes. Both have their iPads. They can play for 45 minutes. After that, till next day, nothing. So there's an agreement. So you can have a balance, you know. So they're not very mature now. You can give them a dose of Krishna consciousness. At a certain time, you have to give some facility, material facility. So it's an art. There's no science to it. So you are the mother, and kids, they have to understand each other. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji, once again for such a beautiful class. I would like to offer my obeisances to you and all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo chapatitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrind ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Grace Chakravarti Prabhu ji ki jai. Jai. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Radhe, Radhe.
Thank you everyone for joining. Hari Bol.